Good morning, traders. Welcome to this week's Elliott Wave Forex and Cryptocurrency Market Analysis webinar. I hope you all had a great week. We're still seeing a lot of opportunities in the market, and we have been taking advantage of some of those opportunities over the last week. And you will see how accurate the analysis has been over the last couple of days, especially as it relates to the DXY and the Euro. The forecast for a reversal. We are now starting to see the dollar index weakness. We will be doing an update on that as to how we saw the market last week, how it has played out, and what we're going to be looking at in the next coming week. Right, we're going to start with trade recaps, but before we start with that, let's have a look at how you can contact us. You can contact us via all the contact details that you will find under the description of all our videos in our YouTube channel. You'll find the link to our website, that is elliottwave-principle.com. This will take you straight to our website, and you'll find all the details about our services. Now, talking about our website, our next course is going to be next week. That is the 6th of September. Our 10-day live course starts. All right, so you can purchase the course on the website. You will get the recorded version immediately when you make a booking for your course. All right, so for any inquiries, we actually have a special running on the course for the 6th of September, so you can check it out on the website there. So if you've got any inquiries, please use the global chat. This is where you'll get the fastest response. So if you use this chat here, you will find the response very quickly. All right, so let's get started with trade recaps. Some of the contact details, just to finalize this, some of the contact details and the social media pages. There's our TradingView link. You can follow me on TradingView as well as our Twitter and Facebook pages there. So some of our videos, trending videos there are listed on the side, on the description of the video. Now, check out the timestamps. I know not everybody is interested in all the pairs. So if you want only specific pairs, you can just go straight to those specific pairs. So immediately when the video is done, we put up the timestamps so you can check it out there. For those that are only looking for the crypto analysis, just look out for the next video on the chat. And those that are attending live, that video will be. Okay, so let's start with the trade recaps. We got a bit disconnected there. So let's start with the trade recaps. We'll go to our charts before. So just mind that these charts were posted before the moves, and these were shared with our members. Now, what I want to focus specifically here, like as a theme for this week, is how to pick these tops and bottoms and how we pick them up. Now, the first one that I'm going to look at is Pound AUD. So we have been looking at Pound AUD structure as follows. All right. Now, last week we focused that we are going to get a reversal on Pound AUD. So meaning we were going to get, so the move to the upside was not done as yet. So we were still expecting this to give us a bit of a push to the upside and then the reversal. So that means that we will have had then our full three-wave structure as follows. If you remember, this has been going on since the beginning of 2021, this correction, and we have been tracking it wave for wave. When we got to this level here at this red W, we were even thinking that the green degree is the end. So this is the only thing that you will not know as far as the wave theory is concerned. You will not be able to confirm if this is going to be a single correction and then makes a move to the downside. Because if you look at the green degree, you will see that you've got a WXY, which could have been a correction and this continued to the downside. So we have got an indicator that tells us if we're still going to get another leg to the upside. So as much as we're going down here, the indicator tells us that we're still going to get another leg to the upside, and that tells you that you're going to get a double. So this was a single to the upside, this was a single back. Now we've got here another double to the upside. So last week we were looking for only this to complete to the upside and then give us a move to the downside. Now this is how we pick these tops and bottoms. So this is how Pound AUD has played out eventually. Let's have a look at how Pound AUD has played out. All right, so this is how Pound AUD has played out. Let's get the chart out there. Correction here and a push to the upside. So those that have been following us for a while will remember how we focused this a couple of weeks ago when we had the RBA rate announcement, and we focused how that was going to affect this. So we've got a move to the upside, we've got a push to the upside. So that is how pound AUD has played out. So let's have a look at the rest of the structures for this week. So I just wanted to start with that one. There are a number of those that you will see and how we forecasted this week. So let's start with the rest here. Trade recaps for the last week. Right, so let's start here with pound US dollar. So have a look at pound US dollar and what the forecast was here. So pound US dollar, we forecasted that we've got a bigger structure here. I'll show you the bigger structure when we start with the analysis. We're looking for this one to push to the upside here as follows and give us a move to the upside. And this is now how pound US dollar has played out. So this was the initial test of the blue box. We got a reaction. We've got a pullback here in 3, and we've got a move to the upside. And it looks like pound is ready for a move to the upside. And looking at the weakness in the US dollar over the next coming sessions, it makes sense that we expect that the pound will now start making a move to the upside. So that is how pound US dollar has played out as forecasted. Now the next one here is, let's have a look here, is pound yen. Pound yen exactly the same as well. We've made a push down here, retesting the blue box here as well, expecting a move to the upside. Let's have a look at how and see how this one has played out. So as expected, we've already made a leg to the upside. We will update what we expect going forward when we start with the analysis, but it's simply just expecting a 3-wave pullback and looking for a trade setup for more upside on pound yen. Very interesting analysis on pound yen. Next one here is pound chief. So pound chief, you remember that this chart was from about 2 weeks ago. This is not the latest chart. So this was forecasted 2 weeks ago, forecasting that we're going to get a 3-wave structure and a move back to this level. So after this level, we're expecting this one to make a move to the downside. So this is how the market has played out now so far. We've got the move that we're expecting, and we're now getting a move to the downside. We'll show the latest structure. It's actually a very interesting trade setup for the next week here on pound chief. So this is how pound chief has played out. So we're expecting a bit more upside, but we did not get more upside on pound chief. You'll see the latest analysis on pound chief as we start shortly. Now this is now, let's have a look here at New Zealand chief, right? New Zealand chief, a very interesting structure. So we have been looking for this to drop from here. If you remember last week, if it's not 2 weeks back, we looked for this to give us one leg to the downside, and this was the focus for this to give us a reaction to the upside. And let's have a look at how that has played out. We've got the reaction to the upside. What will be the next move? That is what we're going to discuss when we start shortly. That was a New Zealand chief. Let's look at the rest. Do I have everything there? So let's have a look at pound AUD. We've already looked at pound AUD. Now, an interesting one here is gold, guys. So gold, if you remember the chart here from about 2 weeks back. So this was the first week of August, when we forecasted that gold was going to push to the downside and make a reversal and follows. So all these moves now on gold have already played out. So we've had our 3-wave pullback, we've had a move to the downside. We are now currently around these levels on gold, and I'll show you another trade setup on gold that we're currently in. So we've already got this move here on gold. Let's show how this has played out and then go to that trade setup. So that was the forecast on gold. We got those moves, as you've seen forecasted. We've got the move to the downside. We've got a push to the upside here forecasted, and we're still expecting this to make a move to the upside. And around this level, we got a trade setup, which we took last week. All our members are in that trade. If you just check here, let's just go to gold here, see how this one has played out. So gold we are all in this trade. This was taken in our live trading room. So the trade was taken here. Okay, so this was an entry here on gold. We've got a move already up here, a bit of a pullback, but we understand that's just a pullback, and we are now in the trade almost towards target. So the target is modest. Gold can still push much higher. So just to show you where this setup was sent for our members. So this is a trade setup here. Let's just go to that one and the members, and then we go to trade setups. So our members see this before they happen. So this is this chart that was sent for members. So this is gold, as you can see here. We were simply looking for this one to confirm the structure and for the indicator to confirm. And as soon as we confirmed, we got into the trade, we made a move to the upside, and we got a bit of a pullback. And now we are currently around 1818 on gold. We expect more upside. So that's how we forecasted that. Let's run through the rest of the trade recaps here. So that was gold. Let's continue with the rest here. That is now pound AUD again. It's just showing out So EURAUD, so similar to pound AUD, EURAUD, we also forecasted the top here where we expect EURAUD to reverse. So let's have a look here on how EURAUD has played out. The chart after here on the euro, this is how it has played out. So the chart here was to get here at the top here and get a move to the downside. What is the focus for this week? Now that's what we're going to look at now. We start with the market analysis and then we look at the views for the next week. Okay, so don't forget to check out our special on the website for the next course, which starts on the 6th of September, 10-day course, 10-day live course. We spend 10 days together looking at the market and doing and going through the principles of the Elliott wave theory. So what you see, how you see me analyzing the market, that is what we try to show you during the course. Right, so let's start with the analysis. Let's start with the DXY. What did we discuss last week on the DXY? If you just remember, I just want to refer you back to the video from last week on the DXY. Again, don't forget the timestamps. Don't forget the timestamps here. So this is the analysis on the DXY where we're showing that the DXY has reached the blue box. Okay, so that's the analysis from last week. We're indicating that we have reached the blue box and we're now starting to expect a reversal on the DXY. I showed that structure. I've been showing that structure for weeks. So we've reached the blue box, indicating the blue box there, and then we're going to get a reversal there. So let's go back to the chart here on the DXY. You can see that inch perfect right into the blue box, not a peep higher, not a peep lower, reversing from the blue box. That is the power of the blue box and the indicator. So we've got the three-wave structure that we showed last week. Now we're expecting now a continuation to the downside. So we are now expecting weakness, some weakness in the dollar. So yes, last week I detailed the structure on both the DXY and the euro, looking at them like this. This is a simple ABC structure that starts with a diagonal here, with an A here and a B here. Let's have a look here. So I'll show the internal structures here shortly. So the internal structure on this one is 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. That gives us an A wave, and this one gives us a 3 wave as follows. And here we're getting a 5 wave move as follows: 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Okay, so we've got a 5 wave move there. So all in all, we're getting here is an ABC corrective structure. ABC corrective structure, and we are looking for this to give us a move to the downside. Okay, I have shown you the bigger corrective the biggest structure and why we're expecting this to make a move to the downside. That's because we are looking at this whole thing to be a wave 4 in the blue degree. So that is why we're now looking to start the move to the downside. As I've also indicated last week that you may know the direction of the market, but if you do not know the timing, you'll find that the market is moving, but you are just not making money. So that is where the execution strategy comes in, and as the indicator also comes in. So that's what we have on the DXY. We're looking for more downside. The euro US dollar is obviously the inverse of the DXY. We are expecting a reversal here. The euro is also, as stated last week, did not quite reach the blue box, but as indicated, it does not have to. According to the rules and the guideline of a zigzag, the euro structure is valid and has made a 5-wave structure as well. A 5-3-5 structure as follows, with the diagonal here as follows: 1, 2, 3 here. Just like with the DXY, we've got here an A, B, C corrective structures, the inverse of each other anyway. So we're expecting this here. So is this now the start of the move to the upside on the euro? Let's watch here. We'll be looking for setups for more upside here. So that means dollar weakness. So if we just go back here and look at the chart, the higher degree chart here on the euro, let's have a look here on the daily chart so we can see why we are looking for this. So if we look at this, so we've been looking for this for a while. This chart is from July 10th. This chart is from July 10th, and we are now here on the euro. We have forecasted this wave 4, and we're now looking to start this wave 5. That's where we are now. We'll be looking to take opportunities to the upside as far as the euro is concerned. Right, pound US dollar, you saw this one during trade recaps. This bigger structure that we have been looking at is this one here: 1, 2, 3. And now it looks here that we are starting the last leg here to the upside. But let's confirm here first how this structure is going to play out. So far it looks corrective, but if we keep getting this here, we should see pound push a little bit higher. So overall, the pound is showing some weakness this week, but because of the weakness in the US dollar, we may see pound push a little bit higher this coming session. So let's watch around this area here for more upside. Okay, so that is a pound US dollar CHF. We actually have a trade set up on US dollar CHF. We've got a trade running on this one, taken live on our live trading room. As you can see, this is already in play. Let's just go back to that trade setup here. We've got that one on the trade setup. Took a while to take off though. So this is a US dollar CHF. This confirmed when we've got here, when we've got this structure here, and looking for this one to go to 108.17. We are currently at 109.10. We're currently around here now. We look for this one to reach the target. Let's go back to it. So that is how this one has played out. So the trade was taken here. As you can see here, it took a while to take off. This was the confirmation for this one. We've also indicated this one here last week that we are in this trade. We just need to be within the, as long as the stop loss is not hit, we hold on to the trade, and we're looking for this one to get into the blue box around this level. Now, just to look at the bigger structure here on US dollar CHF, seeing that we are going to have US dollar weakness, we may see US dollar CHF do this. Let me just show you a structure here. Rather, I'll show it here. Let's show it here. Switch off everything here. What to expect. So we've got a 3-wave move here to the downside. We've got an impulse. This is an impulse in a different degree. So we are expecting this one to make a move at least back to this level. So we can make a move back to this level. We can make a pullback here, and we can eventually make a structure like this before we get a move to the upside, before we get this move to the upside, making this AWXY corrective structure. So for now, we are only interested in this leg. This is what we're trading now according to the structure. Okay, so we will have a complex Y correct, a complex, this is actually a complex X correction here before we make a move to the downside. But short term, looking for more downside for our trade to hit profits. That is a US dollar CHF. US dollar CAD, last week I warned that this may be a little bit deeper and reverse to about 38%. And we've got that reversal after the impulse. So we've got this move here down here on the US dollar CAD. We've got an impulsive move to the downside. Last week, we had this small correction. We didn't expect this to go with that, such a small correction. We expected a bit of a deeper corrective structure here. This has retraced to about 38% of the whole move. Now we look for this to give us confirmation for a move to the downside. Again, this is too obvious. I don't expect it to just drop like that. I expect a bit of a pullback in the 1 hour. Then that's going to be giving us a tighter trade here for this to continue to the downside. Just remember the structure on this one here on US dollar CAD. Let's have a look here, what it looks like. So we're looking for this one to extend a little bit lower, even though we may get a pullback. So this is the reason why we expect what we're expecting here. So we've got a pullback here. We still expect this to make a continuation to the downside. So we can play this bigger structure here on US dollar CAD. Very clear structures for this week. So look out for this. Look out for this. Very interesting one for the next week. AUD US dollar. Now, AUD US dollar was starting to show an invalidation of the 3-wave structure, but according to the rules and the guideline, this is still within the structure. And even if we have gone through the blue box, according to our rules and the guideline, this is still a valid structure here with 3 down, 3 up, and 3 down as follows. So we have got this one reversing at the 1,618 Fibonacci level. We cannot go into detail about that structure, about the Fibonacci's. That's part of the strategy that we use to get these moves. All right, so this is where we are now on AUD US dollar. Now, because of the weakness in the US dollar, we may get this one making another leg to the upside. Whether this is going to go all the way, we can only confirm after we've gone at around at least the 50% of the whole move. But essentially what we're looking at here is 3 waves down, 3 waves up, and this one being a 3-wave structure here, giving us this as a WXY corrective structure. Now, if it is the corrective structure, we will see a further upside, but there's also a possibility for this to give us a double correction as follows, but we're not looking at that for now. For now, in the next coming session, we are looking for this one to give us at least another leg to the upside, seeing as the dollar index is showing weakness. Now, this one is inch perfect. This is now New Zealand US dollar has now reversed at the blue box. So this one supports the structure in that we've got a clear 3-wave structure here, 3-wave structure here, and we've now made an impulse. So we look for pullbacks for more upside here. WXY textbook corrective structure here on the New Zealand. Some of you will remember that while we were here on the New Zealand, we didn't like this one reversing at this level because the structure was not going to make sense. We do not have a structure like this in the Elliott wave principle. So as much as we were seeing this impulsive move, we were just not convinced that that was the one that was going to go, but we saw that this was actually going to go to the blue box when we see this confirmation here. And now we've reversed from the blue box. We look for continuation patterns to the upside. Very interesting structure on New Zealand, very clear. Now, US dollar ZAR is similar in structure as US dollar CAD. We have got here a 3-wave structure. We're making a pullback, and that pullback can come in 3 waves. And after the 3 waves, we can see another push to the upside, back to that 16 that we're looking at. So because we are seeing the US dollar weakness, we should see a bit of a pullback and then downside. I'm not saying it's going to start pulling back at current levels. We may push a little bit lower before we pull back, but let's just watch that. After the pullback, you can look to take a trade to the downside. I don't like selling US dollar ZAR though, so it's actually a very strong pair to the upside. Pound yen, let's have a look at pound yen as well. What do we have here on pound yen? Let's have a look at the pound pairs. Now, looking at the yen pairs, rather, not the pound pairs, yen pairs. Let's have a look at pound yen. So this one was also one of our trade recaps. We've got to move to the upside here. Let's have a look here at the structure. We're looking for this one to make a reversal from here. What we've got here is a move to around this level, around 154.14. We're starting to consolidate it around that level. So what is the expectation in the next week as far as pound yen is concerned? So we are looking for this one to consolidate at current levels. It's not showing strength for more upside, but we've got this one here. We're seeing consolidation. We may see at least a move to the upside here like that before any move lower. Let's have a look here on the 4-hour. So pound yen, what we may see in this coming session is this. So we've made a pulsing move to the upside, and that pulsing move seems to have come in 3 waves. Let's switch everything off here so we can only see the structure. We've made a pullback, we've made a push to the upside here, and we're going to get this one to come down here and give us a corrective structure. If it gives us a corrective structure, we can at least expect another 3 waves to the upside. But that 3 waves is in a different degree as follows. This is a 1, 2, 3 waves to the upside, and we may expect another 3 waves to the upside on pound. So for now, for this coming session, just consolidation. You'd want to stay away from pound yen unless we've got a confirmation of any structure. Right, US dollar yen, another one of the trades that we are currently in, which confirmed around these levels. Let's show you here. I'm going to show you from the trade recaps as well. Let's first look at the bigger structure here. We've got this bigger structure here, giving us these 3 waves to the downside, giving us these 3 waves to the upside. Now, the natural thing to expect is another 3 waves to the downside as follows. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. We expect, obviously, for this to make a move to the downside. Simple as that, WXY corrective structure. Just need to get the correct fib levels here, and for this one to drop to around this level. US dollar is showing weakness, so it makes sense that we've got this one as a corrective structure at current levels. This one being a 3-wave structure here. This is in the same degree as this here, 1, 2, 3. So we expect this one to drop from current levels. Any confirmation here is this is going to give us more downside. Remember, as I said, we are already in this trade. We already sold US dollar yen at this level. So from this level, we already put in our sell setup on US dollar yen for more downside. It's just that I've already removed it, but let's have a look at that setup on our trade setups. Right, trade setups, US dollar yen. As you can see here, so as soon as it confirmed here, we had a trade setup for this one to come to the downside. But what you're seeing here now is that we've already got something like this, did not hit our stop, and we are now looking for this leg here. This is what we're looking at. Our trade is still in play. We look for this to at least get down as low as 108.17. Okay, so that is US dollar yen. Right, let's continue here with the rest of the structures. Euro yen. Euro yen will show some strength because of the euro strength as well. But because this is also correlated to the yen pairs, let's look for consolidation around this level. We can push to around this level. So even if we do push to that level, remember we've been wanting to see these reverse at this level. Okay, when it broke lower, we thought that it was going to go, but this came down here with divergence. So that means this, currently we've got a running flat. We push a little bit higher, we can have an expanding flat, but we'll still look for this one to drop. But we want to see here, are we going to get any confirmation for downside? We need to watch at the current levels. The current level is critical because either structure can play out. So this is where we need the indicator to invalidate the one alternative. Chief Yen. Now, Chief Yen is another trade, just to show you that we trade, this is practical trading. We don't always get them right. So Chief Yen, we were looking to sell this one as well. But as you can see, it has gone and hit our stop. So that means we have lost that trade and we're going to be looking to update and look for another setup. So for now, Chief Yen is invalid, has hit our stop. So that trade will go down as a loss. So you win some, you lose some. You won't win everything. There is no holy grail. This is practical trading. You just need to have a solid strategy. Right now, this is CAD Yen. Let's have a look at CAD Yen. CAD Yen has now made a 3-wave structure. We've made a move to the downside in what looks like 3 waves. It's a very sharp 3 waves. Now we're looking for this one to consolidate at current levels and give us another leg to the upside. So that whole move can eventually give us a flat correction as follows before we get a move to the downside. So let's watch this level for the next coming session. Let's wait for that corrective structure to build. We may see a bit more upside. Similarly, we are seeing New Zealand Yen. So let's just have a look here at New Zealand Yen and the structure on New Zealand Yen. Just to give you a clearer perspective. So New Zealand Yen, this whole structure here, we're looking at as a complex X correction. That is a move to the downside in W, move to the upside here in X, and a move to the downside here in Y. We're currently here, look for pullbacks and continuation to the upside. That is New Zealand Yen and Audi Yen. Audi Yen as well, we've got a pullback here. We've got a pullback here in what looks like an 11 swing sequence. Let's show it here. That is the 11 swing sequence, a W, a X, a Y, a X, and a Y. That's an 11 swing sequence here. We're looking for this one to start making a move to the upside. So the correction seems to be complete. We're going to wait for this to consolidate and give us entry opportunities for more upside. That's what we're going to be looking at on Audi Yen, and those are the Yen pairs. Looking very interesting. Structures look very clear at this stage. Right, gold, we've already gone through gold. You've seen our trade setup on gold. We took the gold setup around these levels. Now it's playing out very well. We are holding for more upside. This should eventually go and hit our target. This is a modest target, as I've indicated. This can even go much higher. Okay, so let's see here how far high we can go. Let's go back to that gold chart here. Let's have a look at the gold chart, how far we can go. So as far as gold is concerned, we can go as high as 1860, even higher. But let's have a look first. Let's switch off here. So what is happening with gold is we've got an impulsive move to the upside. We've got a pullback in 3 as follows, 1, 2, 3. That was the forecasted structure. And gold can go as high as this level here, as high as 1960, and give us this structure for more downside. As you can see, the whole thing is corrective. So as much as we're pushing to the upside, gold may not necessarily go to all-time highs, may still make a move to the downside. So let's keep an eye on this one. We'll be trading one wave at a time. Every opportunity for more upside, we take it. We're already in the gold setup for more upside. Right now, this is the 4-hour on silver. Let's have a look at silver. Silver is showing us 1, 2, 3. So a bit of a push to the upside on silver on the 4-hour. So we expect more upside before any indication of a reversal. Platinum. Also, again, another one that was showing us 3-wave moves to the 11 swing sequence. Let's just show that structure on platinum. Let's go to commodities. Platinum 4-hour. There is the 4-hour WXYXZ. So we looked for platinum to come down as low as the 800s before we push to the upside. Okay, so let's see how this is going to play out in the next coming session. We are currently here on platinum. So what we're getting here on platinum could be just this yellow W here, or yellow X as follows, before we continue to the downside. We are currently in this corrective structure. We look for that to complete and then a move to the downside. This is the corrective structure on platinum, can play out as follows before we push lower. We can have a complex corrective structure here in the middle and get an A, B, C corrective structure before we drop. So for now, a bit more upside. So those are the commodities. Now, Brent crude, we have been looking at that to come down into the blue box. We focused that blue box last week. Let's have a look at that. It's not projected. Let's just see what we focused it on last week. So let me just go to the video here and see what we said about oil last week. Let's go to oil under commodities, Brent crude. Let's see. We were showing the blue box here that we're going to reverse. We've got 3 waves down. This was last week, guys. We're looking for that. We had reached the blue box and we were looking for that to start the reversal. Okay, so that is where we are now with Brent crude, and then we've got that reversal. So let's have a look here at how Brent crude is playing out. Brent crude. Okay, so that is the blue box. Clear blue box. We've seen this for weeks. Okay, for a couple of weeks, we have been looking at this structure to build, and I think for about 3 weeks, we saw this building up as 3 down, 3 up, and 3 down, and simply coming down here into the blue box and giving us an impulse. We now look for continuation patterns to the upside, and oil can retest the highs at 78 again. Okay, so that 3-wave pullback was clear as the sky as follows. 1, 2, 3. This is not clear. You cannot count it in this degree. You have to go down 1 lower to see that we've got 3 waves here. 1, 2, 3. So a clear WXY corrective structure. That's why we were able to focus the reversal for oil here. And now we're looking for more upside. And now we're looking for indicator to give us a setup for more upside around those levels. All right, pound CAD. Pound CAD, the structure that we're looking at here is this. Is a move to the upside. We've got this. We're now currently looking as like a running flat, but for the next coming week, looking at how strong the CAD is and how strong the oil is, we'll look for this to continue lower to around these levels at least, and then we'll look for this one to give us another structure to the upside. But for now, the next immediate move is for this to continue lower. Pound AUD, you've already seen how we picked up the top on this one, so all you need to do here now is get setups for downside. Let's get setups for downside. So that whole corrective structure looks to have completed. That has played out the whole year. Since the beginning of January, we've been watching this corrective structure, looking for this to give us more continuation to the downside. As I've indicated earlier on, even when we were here, we looked for pound to do this. But as soon as it came down here in 3 waves, indicator showed that we're going to get another leg to the upside. Now we're coming down here with an impulse, look for corrective structures to the downside. We cannot confirm downside as yet until we've got that indicator confirming. Pound New Zealand, I want to just look here on Pound New Zealand. We were looking for this focus. We were focusing that it pushes to the upside. I just want to show you what the focus was and how that market played out. Did not play out exactly as we wanted it to, but I want you to see what has happened. And this is where we save all the links that we share in our website here. So let's just find. So we're looking for GBPNZD. So let's have a look. Let's check here on the 22nd on the daily. So the 22nd was last week. I don't want the 1 hour chart. I want to find the 4 hour chart. Let's look at the 4 hour chart. GBPNZD. Let's look at the 22nd 4 hour chart. This is what I'm looking for. So we can get the perspective on this one. So just like Pound AUD, we were looking for this one to push to the upside here and reverse, but we did not get that far. All we got here was this move coming around these levels, not even that level, just doing this and then starting the reversal. So that means here our B wave in red has completed. You'll see the latest chart here. I'll show you this latest chart. Our B wave has completed, and now we are starting to look for moves to the downside. So we didn't quite get to the blue boxes forecasted, but that does not mean anything. It just means that our Y here in purple is now going to be here. So we've got our Y in purple, so we've got now our trend. We now look for this one to start making a move to the downside. We're currently around these levels. So let's have a look here at the latest chart on pound New Zealand and what we expect. So that is the Y degree here. That is the B here in red. And there was the Y here in purple. Now we're looking for this one to start trending to the downside. So let's look for setups for more downside here. That is pound New Zealand, pound CHF. We've already gone through this one. This could be a very nice trade for the next week here. We look for continuation to the downside, 1, 2, 3 down. Remember, the focus on this one was for this to push to the upside, which the move which we got. Now we've made an impulse, another impulsive move to the downside. We're now making what looks like a three-wave move, three-wave pullback. We'll look for this one to continue lower. That is pound CHF. Still, the CHF is still showing strength. Okay, euro pound. We are looking at this one to give us more upside. This is 1, 2, 3. We indicated this structure last week. We can still get this one coming down here before pushing to the upside. Just to remind you what we are looking at here on pound, euro pound. For weeks, we've been looking at this structure and it has been playing inch perfect each week. We've been tracking it, looking for this one to do that. 3 waves down, 3 waves up, and 3 waves down. And now we are looking for this one to give us a purple move to the upside as follows. So we're looking for this here. Okay, so we're looking for that purple move. Currently, we are looking for this to give us this corrective structure. Whichever way it plays out should take us higher to around this level so that we can get a flat correction that will give us this ABC corrective structure. Very clear structure on the euro pound. Let's look at euro New Zealand. Now, Euro New Zealand, we've already looked at this one during, this was last week. So we forecasted this move. This was a trade of the week last week. No, it was a trade setup. The trade of the week was EURAUD. So we look for this one to push to the upside and make a move to the downside as follows. Okay, so let's have a look here on Euro New Zealand and what we were expecting there. So we're expecting a bit more upside on Euro New Zealand, but we did not get as high as we expected, just like on pound New Zealand. Now, this is the latest chart here. So that means our wave 4 has completed with this structure, very clear structure, WXY. I'll put X here. This is an error here. So our X is supposed to be here. Our green X is supposed to be here. And then our Z there. Now, if you look at this here, you'll see 3 waves to the upside, 3 waves to the downside, 3 waves to the upside, 3 waves to the downside, and 3 waves to the upside. Everything fits inch perfect, nothing forced. So this is when you understand your waves and you can identify them clearly. Right, so this is what we're looking at now. We're looking for continuation to the downside. We've already got an impulse. Look for pullbacks and continuation to the downside. Right, so that is Euro New Zealand, EURAUD. You already saw this one during trade recaps. We focused at the top. So we've got this move here, from here, up here. We are reversing. Look for pullbacks and from continuation to the downside. That's EURAUD. EURCAD. Okay, EURCAD, look for more downside, just like pound CAD. We've made a move up here in 3. This is now looking like another 3-wave pullback here. 1, 2, 3 down, 1, 2, 3 up. We would expect this one to give us another 3 waves to the downside. So what we want here to see is a move up here like that. Lower degree here, you've got 1, 2, 3. We've got 1, 2, 3. We've got 1, 2. Now we're looking for 3. We are here looking for this wave for the next coming session. And the whole structure here is a WXY corrective structure. Very clear structures for the next coming week. Number of trade setups. Next week is September, and September is traditionally a month where we have significant market moves. So we'll be looking out for that. Now, EUROCHF, guys, I don't know how many times I've said to you, don't buy EUROCHF. Doesn't matter what it does, doesn't matter whether it pushes to the upside. All it's doing is giving us opportunities to sell. And we're going to look for sell again on EUROCHF. Continue to sell. Audi New Zealand continues to the downside. we're looking for the, we are currently at a this is not a structural level. This is according to those who trade support and resistance. This is a support level, and we do not look at support levels. We look at fib levels, and what we're looking for here in the bigger corrective structure is this one here, for this to come around this level. So we're still looking for this one to push a little bit lower. And for this, if it is a support, we don't trade support because there are flaws as far as that strategy is concerned. Trend line and support and resistance, there are a lot of flaws. That's why people don't necessarily make money or are profitable using support or resistance or trend line. So we don't expect this structure or this level to be respected. We're expecting the wave structures or the patterns to play out. So we look for this one to come down as low as 1.02 here before any move up higher on AUD New Zealand. AUDCAD. Let's have a look here at AUDCAD. This is now on the daily. Let's look at the lower degree. 4 hour, back to the 4 hour. Now on the 4 hour AUDCAD, we're expecting this one to give us continuation to the downside. If we continue down from here, that means that's a running flat and we're going to see more downside. So with the CAD strong, we expect AUDCAD to continue lower. AUDCHF, AUD is starting to show strength. At the same time, CHF is showing strength. So let's see which we're going to get here. So we're going to expect a bit of consolidation here because they are both showing strength. There's a ratio between AUD and CHF showing us, they're both showing us strength as individual currencies. Right now, we've got New Zealand CAD. We expect New Zealand CAD is to be forming a structure like this. If you look at this here, we've got 1, 2, 3 on New Zealand CAD. We may be forming a complex corrective structure here as follows. We've got a move down here. If you look at this one, seems to be making a 3 up here as follows. So we can have this one, this structure pushing up at around those levels. We get this one doing that. Now, eventually, we're going to expect that we get another structure like that. Doesn't matter, there can be any three-way structure and we get something like this. So let's watch out for that. We'll be tracking that to give us this bigger corrective structure as follows. Okay, let's watch that. For now, we want to see what happens at this level. New Zealand CAD, CAD is strong. Won't be surprising to see New Zealand CAD start a move to the downside here at current levels. Watch out for that for the next week. New Zealand CHF. New Zealand is strong. The CHF is strong. Again here, expect a bit of a pullback here. We're expecting a move to the upside. This is an 11 swing sequence. You saw this one during trade recap. So we want to see more upside here. So the assumption here is that New Zealand will show more strength than the CHF. So the New Zealand will outperform the CHF. Okay, now this is CAD CHF 1, 2, 3 here. We're expecting this one to give us a bit of a pullback and continuation to the upside. Right, so that is that on the Forex pairs. Let's have a look at the indices, S&P 500. Now the S&P 500, let's go to the charts here, indices. Just to have a look at some of these here. Let's look at the indices. S&P 500 4 hour. What we're looking here at here on the indices, this is the chart from the 22nd of August. While this was correcting, we saw a 4-hour setup. We've indicated all these 4-hour setups during the last webinar. So we expect that the market to continue moving up higher. This is the setup from last week. The 4-hour setups, we indicated that you're going to see continuation to the upside. That is what you're getting, because that is what the structure is showing us anyway. The end the sequence, we're looking for more upside. So where we are currently, just to show this leg here, we've got 1, 2. We are currently in the wave 3, in the yellow wave 3, and that yellow wave 3 is still in play because we still only have 1, 2. We are not even in the red 3 yet. We're still going to expect the red 4 and then the 5 here. So that move to the upside still has quite some way to go. We're going to be taking it one wave at a time. So for now, we're looking for this one to make a move to the upside. Okay, so that is the S&P 500. Look for more upside, and you'll see that even on the 1 hour, we're seeing continuation patterns to the upside. No signs of reversal as yet, so the S&P 500 continues to push up higher. The Dow Jones Industrial, similarly, we've seen this 4-hour corrective structure here last week as well. So expect more upside as well on the Dow. We've already pushed up higher. That 4-hour corrections setups that we saw last week are already in play. We expect more upside. The NASDAQ, let's have a look at the NASDAQ structure here on the side. 4-hour, we look for the NASDAQ to continue to push to the upside. This is where we were last week. We wanted to see the NASDAQ continue to push to the upside. Let's have a look at how that has played out this week. So this is the setup on the 4 hour. You can see they're all just straightforward continuation patterns. There's no pain on the indices. All right, so that's how we got that. So the UK 100, we also saw the 3-wave pullback. So there was a 3-wave pullback on the UK 100. We even expected this to make a double last week like this, but it looks like we're just going to get a move to the upside. We are not going to get the double. This is all the correction in ABC, corrective structure here, and we're going to see more upside on the UK 100. So this is the alternative we'll be going on with. We've already gone out of this corrective structure, so we look for consolidation and more upside. The DAX, also, we got here a 4-hour correction last week as follows: 1, 2, 3. This one has not really gone or taken off, but we are seeing a move to the upside and this corrective structure here. So this is a corrective structure. We're going to see the DAX push to the upside, but it needs to break this level because that can still give us a flat as follows before any move to the upside. All right, so that is the DXY, the Nikkei. Let's have a look at the Nikkei structure, how we've been focusing the Nikkei, what we've been expecting here for a while was for the Nikkei to give us this corrective structure here. We've been looking for this. This is obviously the latest chart, but we've been looking for this one to give us this. One more down and then upside. But it looks like we're starting to get a setup here for more upside. So this may be the end here of the move. Let's have a look at it. The Nikkei. Still a possibility for this to give us one more leg to the downside, back to the lower boundary of this channel here to complete that structure that we're expecting here. We've got the move here, we've got this one here coming down. You can see the latest focus was for this to come down here and make a move to the upside. Only when we get out of this structure do we expect the Nikkei to give us new highs. That is the Nikkei. And lastly, the Nifty. Nifty consolidating and showing us continuation to the upside. You will see only upside here. Since we got this flat here on the Nifty, it has been trending up higher with 4-hour corrective structures. Right now, we don't have a 4-hour setup. We actually have a 4-hour setup at current levels. That 4-hour setup was presented last week here as follows. So we're looking for this one here. So if you look in that specific degree, you'll see that we've got a 1-hour setup showing us continuation to the upside. Okay, so this is what we have here, continuation to the upside. Look for more upside there. That is the Nifty, and that's all I have for you for this week, guys. If you like what we do, please drop us a like, subscribe to the channel if you have not already done so, and also hit that bell notification button so you don't miss another upload from us. And we also value your feedback, so drop us a comment and your suggestions. You can even share your charts on the comment section. Have a great weekend and trade responsibly. See you again next week. Cheers, everybody. Bye-bye.